Hello YouTube, if you grew up in the 80s like I did, you'll probably remember Rock Lords. Rock Lords were a bit like Transformers, made by Bandai, but they turned into rocks. So this particular thing that I'm going to show you in this video is called FOSSILSAURUS. So it's kind of similar. This guy that you're looking at here is called Jawbone. There are 4 of them in this little grouping, and they all combine together to turn into one big dinosaur. So this guy Jawbone is the head of the dinosaur. I'll show you some pictures later of them all sort of combined together. This next figure is called RIBCAGE, so he obviously makes up the ribcage part and the arms of the dinosaur. You can see that he is a slightly darker blue than the next figure. Quite often with these figures the silver paint gets rubbed away quite easily, so I've tried to collect examples with particularly good silver paint. The claws on this one, for example, they always get worn off. Okay, the next figure is called HIPBONE. If you look at him, you can see he represents obviously the hip area and the legs of the dinosaur. So he's got particularly big feet. Again, I've gone for one with good silver paint on the toes. He is obviously a lighter blue than the previous character, but not as light as the next character. The last character in this set of 4 then is called Tailbone. Like I say, he's the lightest blue, and he's the one that makes up the tail section of the dinosaur. Particularly cool looking character actually, with lots of kind of spiky bits. I like the head on this one as well with his teeth. So I bought the arm section and the leg section and this tail section all separately, and I've had them for a really long time. I'd been waiting for ages for the head section, Jawbone, and I've literally only just been able to buy it, so I've completed my set of 4. This was definitely a really good way of getting them a lot cheaper than I would have to pay if I bought the whole thing in a box. This is what it looks like as a boxed figure, and it would probably cost between £800 and £1,000 to buy it like this, all complete with all the bits. There are a lot of little bits in the box. So this is what the complete set looks like. This is just an image I got off the internet. But if you have a look there, you can see jawbone, ribcage, hip bone and tailbone. But you can also see the gold weapons. So that's one weapon for each of the 4 figures. And then there are all the silver sections. All the silver sections make up bits that are like armour for the complete dinosaur. Then you've got a couple of big guns as well. And there are all these little white balls, which I think might be sort of bullets or something that fire from the gun. I will obviously keep my eye out for a complete set like this. And if I ever see it at a real bargain price one day, I will get it. Likewise, if I ever see the 4 gold guns for sale separately, I might buy them because it would be nice to be able to give a weapon to each of the figures. So this is what the dinosaur looks like all made up with all of the 4 sections joined together. It looks pretty cool. This is what's known as a combiner figure. I have got another combiner figure which is from the GoBots range, and I might do a separate video on that at another time. You can see there the 4 gold weapons again and all the silver sections and the 2 guns. I'll show you what he looks like with all those silver armor bits on. So here's the dinosaur all complete with all his armor and his 2 guns. You can see he looks pretty cool. So in an ideal world, what I would like to do is have a figure like this all made up, all joined together with all the armor on, and then have the 4 creatures displayed separately with their weapons. That's what would look coolest, I think, in a display case. What I've done with all my Rock Lords figures is collect 2 of each, so I can display one as the standing figure and one as the rock version. So with a lot of the Rock Lords figures, you can pick them up for sort of £10–15 each. A lot of these guys I've had to pay probably £50, £60 for the 3 blue ones. This purple one, Jawbone, I ended up paying like £100 for him. But like I say, I have been looking for him for a long time. And if you think overall how much this figure goes for, I think I got a real bargain with these. I did have to look on eBay for a long number of years to be able to track down all 4 of them, but it was definitely worth it. It saved me a fortune. In the Rock Lords range, there are some rarer figures as well. There's one called Queen Solitaire, there's Sunstone and Flamestone, and the weapons for some of those guys go for a lot of money. So they did cost quite a bit to get the whole sets together as well, but it was worth it. They look amazing together. There are also some little things called gnarlies, which are like furry little creatures. And Series 1, I managed to get all of those. I've only got one from Series 2 because they're a lot rarer. And then there's Snarly Gnarly, who is the rarest of all, who's a really big one. I've got him as well. And this Fossilsaurus is kind of like the equivalent in the Rock Lords range. It's like the rarest figure and the most sought after. I had so many of the Rock Lords when I was growing up in the 80s, and then as an adult I decided to collect them all back. And then once you've collected them all back, then you see the other ones that you didn't have when you were a kid, and you buy those back to complete the set. And then you come across something rare like this Fossilsaurus, and you think, wow, that's like the rarest of all of them. And then you end up buying that as well. This is how it works with toy collecting. You buy back the ones that you had as a kid, and then you end up buying back all the ones to complete entire toy lines. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Check out my other 80s toy videos if you get a chance. Hit subscribe to see anything I post up in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.